Good. Let's start it. Copilot and Teams or just premium? That's the question. Knut?
Yes, hello. This is me. So Knut is my name. So yeah, I'm a Microsoft MVP, been that for 9 years. So I specialize in Microsoft SharePoint, Teams, Viva, and intranets, of course. And now, of course, everybody talks about Copilot. So then why not jump on the Copilot train as well, like everybody else? Either you're on the train or you're off. So so let's be on it. And if you please follow me on the social media here, you can see my LinkedIn and my X profile. I still want to say Twitter, but yeah, we have to say X these days. So yeah, and Chirac has your hand up. Is that correct?
Yeah, just quick, Matt. I know you're calling from some kind of network coverage issues probably, but just need to speak up a bit more. The volume seems quite low, but if you can, great. If not, we'll carry on the way we are.
Yeah, I will try to fix that while Carl is speaking now. So thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Stenberg. I live in Norway, as the same as Knut. Work for a company called Capgemini. Have been MVP for 2.5 years. Runs a podcast, which is a Norwegian podcast. You find me on LinkedIn and on X. And of course, I blog both in Norwegian and English. And the link you have in the presentation is from the English blog. The agenda for today is AI and Teams premium functionality, AI functions. We're going to run a bot from the PVA or the Copilot Studio. We're going to show some demos on Copilot and on Teams Premium. And we're going to have a discussion on what license is for who. Do you need Copilot or do you just need a Teams Premium? That's one of the issues that we want to raise during the presentation. And of course, if we have time, we run a little Q&A at the end. So Knut.
Yeah, so kind of the promise of the generative AI is, of course, that a lot of people are struggling, if they should use AI or not. A lot of people are scared if AI will take away their jobs. A lot of people are like thinking, what will the future look like right now? But of course, 49% say that the fear that the AI will kind of replace their job. My experience now working kind of with Copilot since last year is that that's not true at all. It's more like it will help me to do my job better. Like, for instance, you can go inside of Word and then you can ask Copilot to improve your English. You can go into Teams, as we will show you later, to have some cool features. So I don't think we should be scared about Copilot anymore, or like AI in a sense. But of course, a lot of people also think like, they like will delegate as much for work as possible to AI as well. But again, we shouldn't forget that Copilot or AI, it's something that can do certain tasks for us, but it's also we have to approve those tasks. So we need to be kind of really specific on what tasks that Copilot can do. For instance, like if you write something is really good in PowerPoint, in Word, to kind of use Copilot to start with a PowerPoint presentation, or in Word, you can use it to kind of start to write a summary of something. So Copilot can really help you get started with the day-to-day tasks. And of course, you can also use it for writing emails and that kind of things. So yeah, next slide, Kai. Yeah, so of course there are a lot of barriers for productivity, and this is kind of the reason behind people struggle. Like everything new that comes is scary at first, and of course if we don't find the information I need, then I'm not going to be that productive. And of course, if we don't feel uninspired in our work, that's also going to be a huge issue. And everybody these days we're saying, hey, we have too many meetings. Like everybody. Probably like me, myself, we sit to back-to-back meetings like every day, and that is a huge struggle. And of course, with that, Copilot can help a lot, as we will get back to later when it comes to show some of the features inside of Teams. And of course, on the top here, we can see that having ineffective meetings are one of the hugest blockers, for being productive in our day-to-day work. And this is one of the things that we will address today during this session as well, to see how Teams Premium or Copilot can help us with getting more productive. Yeah, and this one is from, of course, GitHub, because GitHub have been using Copilot for quite some time already. So as you can see, 75% focus on more satisfying work. And again, that is kind of the reason why I think we will have a big AI shift the next couple of years and with Copilot, because it is kind of getting us to focus on those more interesting tasks, and we don't need to focus on those kind of tasks that we could get the robot or the AI to do for us, or some companies, they have other people to do that job for us as well. But yeah, again, we should be scared that AI will take over anyone's jobs. It just means we'll be more efficient and more productive in the way we work. And this also shows from the GitHub statistics here that 88% feel more productive after they started to use GitHub Copilot. And 90%, 96% are faster with repetitive tasks. So again, it's about, should you start to use AI? Should you start to use Copilot? It's all about identifying which tasks that you can allow Copilot to do for you. Next slide, Kai.
Yeah, and of course, there's been a huge wave. We like to call it the 2023-24 AI wave. It started February last year with Teams Premium. Then we got Viva Sales. And in March, we got Copilot for Dynamics. I know a few MVPs that really doesn't like that Copilot for some reasons. And then we got the M365 Copilot and for Loop and the new Teams as well. So everything is changing really fast. The security Copilot arrived. And then, of course, Copilot in SharePoint, Semantic Index, syntax plugins, Windows Copilot, as we all can remember, the Bing Chat Enterprise. And then, of course, at the start of this year, we got Copilot for everyone, the M365, instead of having that stupid license that they had in the beginning with the enterprises. And then, of course, in January this year, we got Copilot for consumers, which means if you have a personal M365 license or the M365 home license, you can actually buy Copilot for that license as well. Costs around $20. And of course, meetings are AI driven. You can use summaries from a recap. Personality meetings and webinars, you can put your company logo in the lobby, advanced protection, confidentiality, and end-to-end encryption, which is very important. Then, of course, advanced personal functions like virtual appointment, streamline the meeting control, and so on. All these are AI and Teams Premium features. Knut?
Yeah, thank you. So what gives Teams Premium? You have, as you can see, advanced meeting protection. We have like the possibility to have branded meetings, meeting templates, advanced virtual appointment capabilities. And if you can just go to the next slide, Kai, because this one summarizes it all. So here you can see like how the Teams meeting is working. And this is one thing that I really, really love, because with the meeting templates, you can kind of go in and have a template that you can reuse to all your meetings. So you can also switch on and off different elements of that meeting. Like for instance, you can have inside of the template, you can have, should it be possible to do the transcript or not on the meeting? And that is something that I think a lot of organizations will have to start to use right now, because there are a lot of organizations that is not allowed to have a transcript on the meeting, basically. So next one. Yeah, so here we're going more into the advanced protection in meetings. And this again is like, if you're having really sensitive meetings, you would want to also have that advanced protection that Teams Premium is covering. So again, we will get back to the license price for the Teams Premium, but for me, Teams Premium is a bargain, and you don't need to have everyone that should be attending a meeting to have a Teams Premium license. So that's also something that you should think about, because if you are it's the organizer of the meeting that has to have the Teams Premium license. So that's something to think about when it comes to that.
Yeah, and then Knut, then you also will see that if someone takes a screenshot from the meeting and publish it, if violating some company rules or something, you will see the watermarks in the presentation and so on. Then, of course, we have the virtual lobby that we can brand. You can use it on your mobile phone. You can join by browser. You can chat before the meeting, as we can see here. And of course, we will have lots of features in the virtual meetings. Knut? I think we lost it. Okay, this is also the homepage for the virtual appointments, where you can see all the schedules, all the meetings in queues and so on. Not so much to say about it, but it's really nice for the virtual appointments. And you can also schedule here, you can do analytics and so on. And this is premium features. Then, of course, in the Microsoft Teams Premium, you have recap, intelligent recap. You can get meeting notes, action plans, and so on directly into the recording and so on from the recap, and you can see everything that you need there. So let's.
So here's the video showing that.
Yeah, the video shows it.
Do you need to catch up on a meeting you missed or review the key points from when you attended? Intelligent Recap in Teams Premium leverages AI to deliver personalized highlights that help you discover information that matters to you most. Intelligent Recap in Teams will be available after the meeting and provides all your meeting artifacts in one place. You can access it from the calendar view on the new Recap tab. First, you'll notice that you can watch the meeting recorded directly from the Recap page. You can also choose to watch the recording in Microsoft Stream. To help you navigate the meeting recording more efficiently, personalized timeline markers that only you can see display markers within the video when you joined or left the meeting, when your name was mentioned, and when your screen was shared. You can also see moments when your name was mentioned on the Add Mentions tab on the right side. Below the video, you will find additional tabs that help you jump to different points in the video recording. The first tab is the Speakers tab, which shows you speaker timeline markers for who spoke during the meeting, when they spoke, and allows you to jump to that moment. Speaker timeline markers are intelligently organized by who you work most closely with, so you never miss feedback shared from your manager in a meeting again. The Topics tab identified keywords and topics from the meeting and the timestamps where they were discussed. The Chapters tab divides the meeting into sections, so you can skim the key content and pick and watch sections that you're most interested in. On the Recap page, you can also find the shared content from the meeting. Below the shared content, you will find more highlights from the meeting, including loop notes. The Notes tab will have any manual notes that were captured in loop. On the AI Notes tab, you'll see key points and takeaways after the meeting with AI-generated notes automatically created and powered by GPT. Below suggested notes, you'll find suggested tasks. Follow-up is easy with AI-generated tasks and action items automatically suggested for you. Lastly, you can use the transcripts and the chat tabs to access the meeting transcript and the meeting contents.
Yeah, so Knut, the summarize of the summary.
Teams Premium.
Yes, in the premium. Let me see if
so,
I can
so
get
you know,
this
like,
playing. Okay.
yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
So this is kind of just showing showing what we did kind of doing before in our meetings, and for me, you know, like a summary or getting the recap of the summary in Teams Premium is one of the main and the biggest features to why anyone would want to have a Teams Premium license, because this is kind of where you will go in and if you don't attend the meeting or if you have some reason you have to go out of the meeting for some certain time, this is where you can use Teams Premium Premium and that recap feature to kind of know what happened in that meeting, you know. So so that is like well worth the license price of Teams Premium by itself, basically. So so here you will have the content, and you will be able to kind of, or later on we will show how this is differ from kind of the Copilot and the recap in Copilot and the possibilities in Copilot. But again, if you feel that a Copilot license is too expensive and you still have a need of that possibility to have a recap and a summary of the recap in Teams, then Teams Premium would be the license for you. But as with Copilot, this also requires you to have transcription on. So that's kind of important to know, that you need to have this transcription on inside of your meetings to get that recap working. So there's a lot of organizations where they are not legally allowed to have the kind of the transcription on the meetings.
Yeah, and then we jump into the Copilot, of course. Copilot in Teams.
Yeah, the funny stuff.
Yeah, the funny stuff. I think it's brilliant. It gives you lots of new ways to work, and especially in meetings. So let's show you a little video here.
Imagine you have an appointment that conflicts with your weekly business review. What if you could do both? With Copilot, you can opt to follow a meeting. After the meeting ends, Copilot will summarize what you missed. You'll get a notification in Teams when the recap is ready. This recap will highlight content that was shared, summarize notes, and any action items for you or others whose names were mentioned. You see that one of your customers was discussed, and you want to learn more. You can ask Copilot clarifying questions, and it provides a detailed response. It can tell you why a certain decision was made, and gives you helpful context. You can even ask Copilot what other solutions were considered, and it provides citations from the transcript so you can see where Copilot drew these conclusions. It's a huge time saver. So that was pretty cool. But the real magic of Copilot happens during a live meeting. Let's say you're in a meeting with your team. You can ask Copilot to summarize the meeting so far. You can see how it summarizes who said what points were made, and it's really capturing the spirit of the discussion. And as the meeting progresses, you can check in on where people stand. You can even ask Copilot what questions are unresolved. It's just amazing to see this happen in real time during a meeting.
Yeah, and as we saw, it works brilliant in a meeting, but we have more surprises for you. You can, for example, create a Copilot, your personal Copilot in Copilot Studio. You can get information from your SharePoint sites or external sites or your own documentation. And I have created a chatbot or a Copilot bot for my Teams client, which is going to pick up information from the Microsoft Learn site and the Microsoft MVP sites. And this is kind of like what it looks in Microsoft Teams. I have the Copilot, I ask it the questions to find, for example, information or want to learn something about M365 Copilot. Where do I go? Okay, what it actually do, it's jump out on my external sources or my internal sources and show me this information with hyperlinks, so I can just click on the result, and then, of course, then I will find the information that I need. And this is pretty cool. You can then link it to different sites and ask this type of questions and just press the links that you have inside the answer from the Copilot. So, Knut,
so let's just play the movie and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, listen to this. Yeah, Knut.
Great. So this is kind of where all the magic comes in when it comes to Copilot in Teams, basically, because the big difference also with Copilot and Teams Premium is that Copilot, you can ask questions and you will get kind of the answers from Copilot after it has been kind of thinking and analyzing and grabbing the data that it knows. So for instance, when it comes to transcripts, of course, you can again go in and ask Copilot. You can go in and get kind of a chat with Copilot. So you can ask like what the decisions was made during the meeting. You can ask like who attended the meeting. You can ask who didn't attend the meeting. You can ask it for a short summary of the meeting. So it's all of these phrases that you can put into the chat of Copilot in Teams that again will save you tremendous amount of time when it comes to the day-to-day tasks that you have, because as we pointed out earlier in the presentation, what are kind of the biggest reason to lack of productivity? It is the ineffective meetings. It is meetings where decisions are not made. It's meetings where you are just having a meeting for the reason of having a meeting, but no actions have been made and all that kind of things. And this is where Copilot can really come in and help you, because first of all, you can also have shorter meetings because of Copilot, in my opinion, because you could get a lot of help also from the side of summarizing the meeting. You can get help from creating tasks after the meeting. So again, just start to play around with Copilot inside of Teams. In my opinion, it's really pity that there's no kind of Copilot just for Teams for another price, because everyone I have talked to that has started to use Copilot, if I ask them what feature in Copilot do you love the most, they will say again summaries in Teams, summaries from Copilot in Teams, or chatting with Copilot in Teams. That is like the number one feature that everybody's talking about when it comes to Copilot, and that everybody is using, that I have spoken to, that started to use Copilot, is using every day to make their work life more productive, basically.
Yeah. Then, of course, we have Copilot for the enterprise voice. And let me show you, and this is where I actually load the M365 Copilot in Teams Phone. Watch this.
Copilot also works during PSTN calls. Here, you're on a PSTN call with a customer who is interested in learning more about your company's recent product announcements. With the help of Copilot, you can summarize the call, helping you stay focused and engaged during the conversation. Copilot can also curate a list of unresolved questions that came up during the call. The customer has some specific questions that require input from another subject matter expert in your organization. Using the Consult Then Transfer feature, you can chat with your colleague and confirm she's able to help the customer with their questions. Now, when you transfer the call to her, thanks to Copilot, she's able to get a summarized recap of your discussion and a list of the top questions raised by the customer, all in a matter of seconds. This saves you time you would have spent catching up and creates a better customer experience, since the customer won't need to recap their questions. These scenarios are only a few examples of the many ways you can use Copilot during Teams calls, helping you spend less time on busy work and more time on connecting and collaborating with teammates, customers, and partners.
And if you look at what we just saw, when someone calls, for example, a contact center or customer center, and you are sitting in the first line and you need to transfer the call, I bet some of you have noticed that you have to explain to this new agent the whole issue again. Well, this is the solution. Now you just can speak to someone at the second line, and then they already know what the case is about. So let's create a bot. What I have done here is that I created a bot from the Copilot Studio, and then I'll connect it to, for example, learnmicrosoft.com, which is one of my favorite sites to put it up. And from here, we just configure the bot, and the bot will be ready in a few moments. My Copilot Studio is in Norwegian. That's why we have the Norwegian text there. And when the bot is ready, we can actually start testing it and using it. So here is the bot ready. Then, of course, we can publish the bot to Teams, and then you will have it in Microsoft Teams. And then you can start using it. It's very simple to do that from your Copilot Studio. And it's highly recommended to do that. And get your trial licenses. You will get trial licenses and so on. And then, of course, here you can see we have asked it a question. And it just works so good. So build your Copilots for Teams and use them. Good. Knut, did I lose you? Okay, as we can see here, Copilot for Microsoft 365 and Microsoft Teams.
I'm here, Kai, by the way. Can you hear me?
Yes. Take over. Yeah. Your slide.
Yeah. So what I just said before I lost the sound was that if you make sure that you also go in and find the end point here, because this is not our slide. It's something we got from the internet. So it's from teams365.com. But what is really good about this slide, it shows kind of the differences between Teams Premium and Copilot when it comes to all the different features. So this is, as you can see, you have, and also you see the price. So the Teams Premium is like $7 per user per month, while the Copilot 365, as we all know, is $30 per user per month. And happily now, at least we don't have the 300 limit no more. But here, at least you will see that you have Copilot in Teams to ask questions, to resolve topics, catch up during meetings, organize posts. This is kind of what comes from the Copilot, but both of them has the intelligent recap. So which one you need in the organization, it might be both, basically, because if you need also the advanced meeting protections, if you need the meeting templates, which honestly I would say everyone would need when it comes to kind of being able to control which meetings has transcription on and off, basically. So you might ending up needing both of them. But if you only need the recap in Teams, then you will be off with only the $7 per user per month, which, as Chirag mentioned in the chat, is a bargain for sure. It's like that is like so cheap that compared to every other license you're paying for, that you shouldn't think twice about having that for at least the kind of the companies or the employees that has a lot of meetings and the leaders and the managers that always need to summarize the meetings. You know, like that is really helpful. But if you need kind of the more Copilot in Word, Copilot in PowerPoint, like all those other functional features or places where you can use Copilot, then you will have to go with the full Copilot license. So next one. Yeah, so this one is kind of just summarizing again, kind of the different versions of Copilot compared with the consumer ones, which is of course you have the Copilot that you have in Bing and Bing Chat, or like Copilot as it's called now, was Bing Chat. But this is doesn't cost anything. And then we have the Copilot Pro, which is very similar to the M365 Copilot. Only difference is it doesn't have access to your corporate data, and you also is not working inside of Teams. So again, for our topic today, Teams Premium or Copilot, then of course you shouldn't go with the Copilot Pro, because you're not going to get all the functionality you want from this one. But this is something you can sign up for if you want to test out Copilot and your organization don't want to give you one, or they don't want to pay for one, or for whatever reasons you just want to start to play with Copilot, and you have $20 per month to spend on it, then you can sign up for that. If you have like a M365 family subscription already, because you need to have that one already to be able to use it. And then, of course, we have the Copilot for M365. And here, yeah, we have some funny facts or how to kind of mention it when it comes to like how much more it's going to cost your organization if you're going to go in with the Copilot race. So we can see that it is kind of a tremendously increase of license cost, because if you don't have a business license, or if you don't have an enterprise license from Microsoft, if you are a frontline worker, you need to first upgrade that license before you to be allowed to use it, or you will have to go with kind of the Copilot Pro for consumers, and then you will be able to use it, of course. But again, yeah, you can see that it's not every organization that are going to be able to afford Copilot, at least not for all their employees. So this is again where I think all organizations will have to go in and maybe have like a center of excellence or something like that, where they can go and kind of submit a request for a Copilot license with like an argument to why do I need it? Like, why do I, with my role, need a Copilot license? Like, how can it benefit my organization if I will have a Copilot license? Because you cannot switch it on for everyone. And this is also like something I have to mention is like, don't switch on Copilot just to switch it on, you know, even if you think that it's going to help your organization, because if you haven't done the groundwork before with making sure that you don't have wrong permission set in SharePoint, etc., people will see things that they shouldn't see, and that's going to cost you much more than the $30 per user per month.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned that one.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can use Copilot to help you to write email, which is quite good. And you can also summarize emails. And is Copilot worth more than a free lunch? Yeah, I guess so.
For some people, it might be worth more than a free lunch, but of course,
Yeah.
this also depends on which country you're living, you know, because not every country, like if you go one time to lunch, it will be the same price as a Copilot license in a month. But where we are living, Kai, it's probably even like you can buy probably like maybe 2 Copilot licenses for one lunch. So
yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, and of course we get the advantages. The increase of productivity are one huge one. Accuracy is a great one. You will get more accurate, and you will reduce cost and eliminate for manual tasks. Writing and editing will save you money. Improve creativity. Is M365 Copilot secure? Yeah, we think so, but it's all up to how you have configured everything. And you need to have control of your data. Access control is very important. And for whom? Knut?
Yeah. And thank you, Chirag, for the heads up with the 5 minutes to wrap. Everybody knows me. If I start to talk, then I will talk till tomorrow. So, so it's good to get the kind of the 5 minute sign. So what for whom? You know, it's like this I mentioned like previously a little bit as well. It's like Copilot is not for everyone, in my opinion. You know, if you are a truck driver, Copilot is not going to help you with driving the truck yet. Maybe in the future at some point in time it will, but right now it's not going to help you. But it's going to help people that is working in sales, for instance. Like if you should write like a lot of sales proposals, then you can use Copilot to basically create from a sales proposal your PowerPoint slide deck. If you're working with emailing out all the time, you can get Copilot to write a lot of those emails for you and will just send them out. If you're working in marketing, it can help you. So this is again where we need to get back to. I think it really will benefit every organization if they have like a Microsoft form, for instance, where you will submit a question to, or like say, I request, I need Copilot, and then you need to justify yourself, like why do I need it, and kind of with that we're gonna figure out really quickly who needs it. But if you ask me like who needs it right now, I was like, and I have to pick only one, I will say salespeople, because they will benefit tremendously from Copilot.
Definitely agree on that, Knut. Then, of course, you have Teams Premium. Then you have a different kind of sets on who needs it, because people who are joining much meeting, people who are presenting and needs to be have the security during the presentation and so on, of course, they need Teams Premium.
Yeah, so the meeting organizers basically. So, but again,
Yeah.
it's like you don't need everyone in the organization to have a Teams Premium license as well. But probably you might also have some that need to have both, as we mentioned before.
Yeah. And you start by checking out the user onboarding kit and the Microsoft 365 Copilot adoption. Well, that's it. Thank you, everyone. If there are some questions, I probably think there are in the chat, and we can do them for the 2 more minutes that we have. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.